You know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest. Well, I scream, you scream, you know the rest. I scream, you scream, well, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, well, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, we all, well, you know the rest.
Got it. I scream, you scream, you know the rest. I scream, you scream, we all know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, well, you know the rest.
I scream, you scream, you know the rest.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
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 Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby.
Mike Myers says, yeah, baby. Mike
Myers.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless.
Gen Z is aging like a banana.
The reason that Gen Z looks so much older is because millennials was not allowed to wear makeup in middle school. Boys was not checking for you if you had makeup on. And when I'm talking about makeup, I'm talking about you could wear a little mascara, a little eyeliner, but the boys was not checking for the girlies with the foundation makeup. We're talking about black people here. No, but white people was doing, but it was not a flex to have weave or makeup. Like, it was a thing. They wouldn't even talk to you if your hair was fake. They will roast you so bad if you had weave outside of like braids or something. At least in Colorado, where I'm from, Denver, where I'm from, I cannot speak for anywhere else, but being a natural girly was a flex. And for me personally, we didn't even start wearing makeup till we was in our 20s. And y'all had to watch us fail in our 20s with thick ass eyebrows, raccoon eyes. Like, this is why they look older. They don't start wearing heavy ass foundation in middle school, high school. So y'all could come for me if you want, but
you can actually just get those 3D glasses from the movie theaters and you overlap them, staple them together, and then put them over your iPhone lens.
And what does that do?
It shows you Satan.
Wow. Well, I think we need to do that tomorrow.
Already done.
You know those 3D glasses that are red on one side and blue on the other, and you get them in movie theaters? He cut them up so that the lenses were separate, and he stapled them together, and he taped it on top of his lens for his iPhone. The red lets in infrared. The red and the blue together puts out almost all visible light. And so the light that can get through is going to be the infrared stuff. There's not much ultraviolet light in the atmosphere, so it's really mostly infrared. And so what happens is the phone gears up its automatic gain control to try to get any light at all. But there is no visible light that's coming in because of the red and the blue together. So what he ends up getting is mostly the infrared. And he started taking videos with his iPhone with this makeshift thing of the Washington, D.C. area, and he started to get a whole bunch of UFOs.
Stop what? Fuck you mean? That fuck are you talking about?
No, because listen, so after I talked to Nipsey and I was like, yeah, I love you cuz or whatever like that, I'll see you later or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey. And so I'm like,
wait. You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yep. And
you like
just talking on regular. So it's like at the end of the day, I didn't even think about it because
you don't even warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so fucked up. It'd be like they be hot one minute, then they be cold the next minute, and then they be lukewarm. Like you
and
just
30 minutes after you get out the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
Yep, he hit me a little bit too early because the homie Shitty.
Like the Nipsey story that you just told is so explosive.
Yo.
Speak to them on why they should believe you, because I guarantee that's a huge percentage of the conversation that's happening right now is people saying, I don't know a ton about you to like verify it, so and I don't have a dog in this fight.
Listen, everybody that knows me, LA and the world and stuff like that, know I'm not gonna just sit there and lie. Plus, is on my TV show. The first episode or whatever on February 14th. Then y'all gonna see the FaceTime call with me and Big U, and then
wait.
The next
motherfucker
We're not gonna say too much, y'all. Y'all gonna have to tune in. Y'all gonna have to tune into the show.
Of course.
Okay.
It's coming out on the premiere of the show.
Y'all gonna have to tune in.
But the
to
FaceTime about Nip?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this was recorded all the way back then?
Yeah, because we was actually reporting another TV show
prior to the TV show that we're doing now.
To the TV show that we was already doing. So
you got him calling you, telling you.
Yeah, because think about this. You calling, we filming. I'll be like, hey,
I gotta play devil's advocate.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, I gotta play devil's advocate. You got Big U calling you, FaceTime telling you this, right?
Yeah.
Do you have you calling Nip after that?
Of course.
Oh, it's finna get
I ain't gonna lie, Whack.
I woke up this morning and all that I can hear is they have killed Masunde. All I can fucking hear is they have killed Masunde. Now, if you never watched Game of Thrones, I'm speaking a language you would not understand. But loud as shit, all I can hear is they. Something told me to keep this fucking camera going, man, because that's how I've been feeling. Every time I hear this shit, it's stabbing me, man. It's stabbing me. They have killed Masunde. They rolled her head off of that fucking ledge. And now, it's time to burn down the Red Keep. It's time to burn it the fuck down. I've been saying that this shit is up for a long time, y'all. And that's because the transition of a planet takes quite a bit of time. It takes 9 months to birth a human baby. So the transition of a planet, the birthing of a new planet will take time. But I am here to let you know, children, we are at the apex of the movie. We have reached the climax of the movie, okay? As above, so below, as I always say. The entire world is at war, okay? The entire world is at war. That is representative of the great war of the cosmos. It's war. And so this is a call out to all of my spiritual gangsters and my spiritual gangsters only. You love and light motherfuckers, go take a seat. I am not talking to you. Scroll past this, please. I am talking to the walkers of the darkness who come to the light, speak the language of the light. But it's time to get dark in this motherfucker. I'm talking to all my practitioners. I'm talking to my Vodun priestesses and priests. I'm talking to my practitioners of Palo Mayombe, Palo Santo. All of my magical witches and warlocks, I'm calling upon you now. And I need you to direct all your magic at the establishment, the world establishment. If you need to put a name on it, let's go ahead with the Olympian gods. Let's put a name on these bullets, baby. Okay? Send all your magic at the establishment. You about to see how powerful you are, chosen one. Send all your magic at the crumbling of Mount Olympus. It's why you motherfuckers should have killed me at war. Yeah, all you motherfuckers who want to just burn sage and incense and, never tap into no real power. I'm not talking to you. I'm speaking a language you wouldn't even fucking understand. All my spiritual gangsters, though, it's time to be gangster. Yeah, everybody like to be gangster till it's time to do some gangster shit. Time to do some gangster shit. You're on the fucking clock. Yeah. Yeah, you've been doing all them fucking spells trying to get somebody to love you. You've been doing spells trying to get people to leave you alone. It's time to put your darkest fucking magic against Mount Olympus. Because they have killed Masunde. Why does that shit make me emotional every time I say it? Fuck. But it's time to burn down the Red Keep. And it's time to burn it down exactly the way Daenerys did. They tried to paint Daenerys to be evil, the way that she burned down that shit and didn't leave a crumb. That's why they had her killed, okay? That's why they had her killed, to divert your energy against the dark, divine, feminine power, okay? But it's time to burn down the Red Keep exactly the way Daenerys Targaryen did and leave not a crumb. Leave not a crumb. Because, see, we starting a new earth. And it's going to be fucking beautiful. And any and everything that ain't ready to be beautiful, he's got to go. Now. Now. It's got to go. Yeah. This shit is up. I don't know if it's because the Pluto in Aquarius, but I woke up extremely spiritually violent today. Extremely spiritually violent. They killed Masunde, and now we must burn down the Red Keep. It's up.
We should be able to use our beaches. We are a beach community. We are beach people. We're a small island surrounded by water.
Jamaicans can no longer access their own beaches.
This is where they work. Say they don't have a other job. They don't have nothing else to turn to.
Tourists can pay for exclusive access to beaches at all-inclusive resorts, but everyday Jamaicans are increasingly being blocked out of them.
When you push a fisherman from a beach, where did you want him to go? We are living in between waters, and we have no access to a beach.
Some Jamaicans are organizing to take down the colonial-era land laws that still affect them today.
Jamaican came into emancipation landless and homeless, and that problem have not changed in Jamaica.
And they're suing companies for cutting off their access to the beaches.
And we also will not stop until the entire Jamaican public is able to access the beach freely.
Yes, the chemotherapy did kill the cancer. Yes, the chemotherapy did shrink the tumor, but the chemotherapy is 100% mustard gas. Mustard gas is literally 100% acidic. So not only did it kill the cancerous cells, but it killed every good cell in the body too. So chemotherapy naturally causes cancer. So you would go into remission for 5 to 10 years, but then when the cancer come back, now all of a sudden it metastasized to the bone and throughout the whole body. What did that? Was it the cancer? The cancer is a natural effect on the body trying to heal itself. Cancer is a detoxification symptom. Cancer is not a disease. You see that? But chemotherapy causes a mutation of cancer, which becomes a disease, and then you die from that chemotherapy because it robs the cells of oxygen, it suffocates the cells, and it penetrates all the way down to the actual molecular structure of the bone. So you see most people that go into remission come back with an even worse cancer 5 to 10 years later. So they're suppressing symptoms. We are promoting symptoms to detoxify. There's a total difference.
See, they're always trying to scare you when it's black and brown people at the border seeking asylum. Because watch these videos of all these white people at the border and nobody seems to care. Watch.
Where are you guys from? Russia. Russia? Russia. You guys, can I ask you guys a question? Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Okay. Where are you guys from?
We from Belarus.
From Belarus. Belarus. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's middle Russia and Ukraine.
Look, I want everybody to be able to seek asylum, but I'm just tired of even the news talking about black and brown migration as invasions, and white people are not even spoken about. I mean, would you have known that since the Ukraine-Russia war started, 1 million Russians have left? Would you have guessed that 6.3 million Ukrainians have left the Ukraine and gone to other countries? And just an honorable mention, over 500,000 Israelis have left Israel since the conflict started. Seriously, in the last year and a half, you have almost 11 million white people who have left their home country and moved around the world, and nobody gives a shit. But if you have black and brown people who are escaping the atrocities that were created by the Western world, now it's a fucking problem. It has to be on the news every fucking day. So stop trying to use black and brown people as a way to fearmonger. We are also coming to the US to look for a better life like these white people are.
Why I have to constantly put up with these dumbasses here every day. Between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag, or these teachers who don't get it, how hard is it to get these students to meet their grade level expectations? Lawrence and Ravenel should have never been hired. And don't let me get started on DJ. I'm going to drag his black ass out of here one way or another. I'm going to get something to stick. I'm just so sick of the inadequacies of these people. And if I have to get one more complaint from one more Jew in this community, I'm going to join the other side.
You know the one thing about flat Earth that does trip me out? Google images of satellites. They're just all...
There's no real pictures?
They're all
graphics?
Yeah, dude. Not a single one is not. This is the one thing that tripped me out, I'm not going to lie. They're all just like renders. I've never seen a satellite that was real. I'm just saying. I'm not a flat earther, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is very strange now that you bring that up. Why would they want to sell us on Earth being round?
That's not the only thing they're selling you on. They're selling you on space as well, because you're thinking outer space and all those other planets and stuff
real?
like that. Yeah. Huh?
You don't think they're real? You don't think sun's real?
No. Sun is real. The sun and the moon is real.
Okay.
But outer space is not.
Yeah, because we haven't seen. Then what is it? What are we doing?
It's water over the firmament. Is water.
Over the firmament, he's talking.
We're in the ocean right now.
We under the firmament, under the dome, and there's water over the firmament. It says it in the Bible. The outer space is there's no such thing.
There's no such thing as outer space.
No, and that's the whole thing that got you tricked and why you think the other planets and stuff. The planets are wandering stars that you think about.
So you think all that like them going to Mars stuff is all?
How they going to the Mars? Why they don't put the same rover on the moon so we can watch the Earth spin right now? How they gonna go to Mars?
They're talking about building a society on Mars, right?
Yeah. Why they doing that? Why they ain't got the same thing on the moon right now though?
Yeah.
How they gonna go to Mars?
I think the whole thing is like we never went back to the moon, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I didn't even know until I bought an iPhone and turned it on and kind of did a little happy dance.
Simmons' job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is. A composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
To us, the really cool thing was the data set. Up until that point, there was no realistic color map of the globe anywhere.
So the land layer here comes from
the moderate resolution imaging spectroradiometer aboard Terra.
And the tricky part here was the weather.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it's a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it has to be.
It is photoshopped, but it has to be.
Then
there was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
And then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space, but I've looked at these images over and over again, trying to sort of get the essence of it. It is photoshopped, but it has to be. It is photoshopped, but it has to be.
Yeah, family, did you guys hear that? That's Robert Simmons.
He was the one who made the picture you call the blue marble, the most famous picture of Earth from space, family. It's a computer extrapolation, all of it CGI. There are no real pictures of any planets anywhere in the universe. They don't exist. Outer space is the waters above. Stop playing yourself, family. They're telling you with their own mouth, straight out the horse's mouth. We do not take any real pictures. It's all CGI. So the most famous picture of the planet, the one right here, the blue marble, is CGI. You guys can tell, right? Why are there no real pictures of satellites? Come on, family. Why is everything a computer extrapolation or CGI? Use your brain, because it seems you're using every single muscle in your body except the one that counts. Look, people, everyone is aware of what's going on right now. Everyone, every single celebrity knows, every single so-called 1% or Illuminati, everyone knows the story of the round ball is to keep you in scarcity, keep you in a finite mindset. That's why I tell you to see past the finite curve. It's their fake curvature. It doesn't exist. They bent and warped your mind. We live on an infinite plane, in an infinite expanse. It's all energy. It's called a realm. There's no beginning or end to it. This is literally the universe you're living in right now. Everything they're telling you about outer space, with all these fantastic life forms and extraordinary habitations all over the place, different atmospheres and all this and that, family, that exists right here in your universe, right here in the realm. The magic is here. They just put you in the box. I'm telling you right now, set your mind free and the rest will follow. Vibrate higher. Let's go. Bang, bang. Yeah. Yo, council, you guys peep how dude said his first fake picture looked too flat?
Who's an NPC? You don't know this meme?
Is that a Scientology thing?
No, non-player character.
Non-player character?
What, you don't know about this? Do I get to tell you the NPC meme?
Yes.
This is the most important meme of our lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Breaking it down as quickly as possible. I'm gonna show my age.
Okay.
When we were younger, we played games like Final Fantasy and Ultima, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in those games, you go to like the armor store or the weapon store, and you buy your sword or you buy your armor.
Right.
There's a guy running that store within the game.
Yes.
He does not exist outside of that store.
Right.
That character, all he does is buy armor and sell armor. He doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have a kid. You go there at midnight, he's there. You go there at 8 a.m., he's there.
Right.
He's the player characters you're playing. He's the non-player character. And the point this meme makes is the vast majority of humans are non-player characters. They have no mind outside their programming. You see this on Twitter, where it's one thing when people say cliched ideas, but they'll say cliched ideas in a cliched way.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have no mind. You're just repeating what has been programmed to you in your script. And as soon as you mention certain terms, there's just a knee-jerk speech that they give. And once you identify it, it's like the Matrix. Like you see Agent Smith everywhere.
Yeah.
Name your company a Latin name. I want you to find out what SIC codes banks like, what SIC codes banks don't like, so you don't start out with the wrong name. SIC code is a special code that banks use to identify what you do. Now, since we know they speak Latin, now we want to go in and let's say you want to be big. You have to put in your company what you want it to be. One of my companies is Robust Inc. I went into Google and I said, I want to be big, because I know dealing with these billionaires that run businesses and all these banks, I know what they're looking for on the upper echelon. I went in, I said, what's big in Latin? And it said, big, robust, robustus. So I named my company Robust Inc. You'll be surprised of the people that run this stuff that can look right away and see they don't speak Latin. And they cannot and will not teach you this, because this is economic masonry. People didn't even know that exists.
You know what's crazy is a year ago, I posted this video and I got so many comments saying, oh, I was reaching or that I was crazy. But as time went on and I still kept playing with the words, I realized that they were casting spells. But this is just confirmation that I'm not crazy.
Now this one gonna blow y'all mind. Are y'all aware that some humans grow tails? They not hiding it anymore. It's all over the news. It's called the tailbone for a reason. You guys have to understand these words have deeper meanings. Now, some people go through this procedure to get this tail removed. Charles Darwin was a naturalist and geologist. He would come up with this theory that humans evolved from monkeys. Now, a lot of people would discredit his works and his books, but even Google talks about how humans share over 90% of their DNA with their primate cousins, the mammals. This is clear proof that you had species that was genetically spliced in the past. And this article states that these species of people were discovered in caves. So Darwin was an intelligent man. He knew what he was talking about. And they would also worship their monkey god. He is the highest deity and most respected in certain regions of the world. Peace and ashe. Hope you guys like the lecture.
Why is it dark over there? Look, it's a shadow casted on this whole area. Y'all see this whole area is shiny, right? Right here is shiny, but back there, it's dark. But look, it's clear skies. There are no clouds. So what is above that is casting a big shadow back there? That everything else is shiny and the sun is shining on it, but there's a big shadow casting over that area over there. Earth is flat though, just to let y'all know. So if y'all want to see, yeah, let's go around. Boom, there we go. Flat. Wow, beautiful skies. Yep, beautiful, no clouds. God bless everybody. This your boy, Top Flight Security of the World. Fast Money Tally. Spread love, not hate. That's what makes the world great. God bless everybody. Enjoy the view. This is Brooklyn, New York. Beautiful. Beautiful. See the airplane flying up. Clear skies.
We're gonna go through the stores, guys.
All cross it.
Know his name until you get close to the draft, and his name is David Stern. You always know who this man is.
I met him before the draft. He says, even before the lottery, he said, "You want to play where it's hot or where it's cold?" And I said, "Hot." Then Orlando gets the ball. I don't think none of it. I'm at the draft, and he's coming up with the envelope, and he's looking at the envelope, and he goes,
A stretch there, but you guys pulled it out and was a big win.
David Stern wonder why the league is losing money. That's why. People pay good money to come watch these athletes play, and they try to take over the fucking game.
Think about it. You're not going to catch the company, man.
Well, they're not technically doing anything wrong, but Vetta and Foster are fixing the game on behalf of the company.
Yeah.
So there's no illegal, because the NBA is an entertainment company. It is wrestling. From a paperwork contractual standpoint, the NBA is wrestling.
And they don't get publicly reprimanded like we do.
No, because most people watch Game 7 of that Spurs-Pistons series, and unless you're a Pistons fan, so this tiny pocket of America is watching this game being like, man, our big men have 14 fouls and Tim Duncan has 2.
What gave you problems in that third quarter?
You know, last year I said something, I'm fined $50,000 or $25,000 for saying it, so I won't say it.
Wear deodorant. I haven't worn deodorant in probably like 8 years. And people say, so what do you do about the smell? I'm like, there's no smell. Because the truth, like I was saying earlier, when you eat a lot of greens are deodorizing to the body. What? Yes, they're deodorizing to the body. So a lot of times when I smell people with an odor, it's because I know that either that A, toxic, but B, they're not eating a lot of green leafy vegetables.
Marijuana is a very feminine plant. Very feminine. Marijuana is a powerful entity, but people don't know. Sometimes I watch the youth smoking this sacred plant and they don't even know. They don't even understand. So they just smoke it for the mental experience of it. So they just need a mental experience. But the marijuana is a very sacred plant. And she is a woman, a very black woman with some beautiful natural dreads. Okay, so that's the plant. And that plant is very powerful enough to review your state or amplify your state. Okay, and this amplification flows through all dimensions. So the act is maybe taking it, okay, into your body, whether with smoke or eating it energetically. It goes into your body, and when that plant enters your body, that amplification cuts across all your dimensions. All your dimensions get affected. That's what you should know. So if you are taking that plant in a low vibration state, then you should be ready for a low vibrational experience. We are talking about the marijuana psychedelic. That plant reveals your state, a very feminine. Some people smoke this marijuana and get mad. The moment they take it, they start having some experiences, some things that they are not familiar with. And then they give up, okay? And then they go mad. So now, going mad simply means that you are not corresponding or connecting to the signals of this reality again. When you say mad, a mad person, when you see a mad person walking, it means that now that person can't really connect to this reality again because of something, because of a state, because of a situation. So it all goes back to the state. So if you are in a low vibrational state and you take this marijuana, you have a low vibration effect to that cause. Remember, everything is energy. When we are talking here, we are talking energy. We are not trying to be research and be doing writing and book doesn't help me. I was a very intelligent person in school. Yes, I was very intelligent with the books, but I wasn't really. I grew out of that love to read, because it got to a point I got to know that it's like when you read too much, you put your mental plane in a code. You don't rise, and that's what the elite are using. They are using the concept of books and documentations and writing to keep our fellow Africans very coded and limited. They put them in a box, in a code. So until you grow out of reading and start going into yourself, you can't decode. So even the Bible, it's not for the readers. It's for those who are staying true to themselves. If you stay true to yourself, you realize that the Bible is not meant for you. So the Bible will rather expose himself. Okay, so you realize that if you go into the Bible staying true to yourself, the Bible will reveal himself to you. And you realize that this book is a lie, an illusion. Every religious book that you are seeing has a spiritual dependence. And when they tap into that spiritual energy, they corrupt it because they want to manipulate you. You know, manipulation is spiritual. That one you should know. So the manipulation that occurred to us was a spiritual impact. So when we are talking about certain things, it's not book. It's not book. The last time I was explaining and trying to reveal some inner touches on the LGBT, but I was even struggling because it's not something I've gone to done a research on it in a book. It's an astral energy perspective I always talk from. So I'm not here to answer your questions. I'm here to question your answers. The marijuana plant has scientific descriptions. But when you go deep into it, you realize that that plant is very spiritual. That is why the Rastafarian community don't play with that plant. They know what they get from that plant. And that plant is feminine. That's why I'm saying that if you are a Jah Rastafarian and you don't acknowledge the feminine energy over you, then sorry. A time will come, you start smoking this marijuana and you'll be going mad. Yes, you'll be going mad. There will be projections of madness on you. Madness on you because ego. The Jah Rastafarian community, they depend on the plant for their spiritual connection. So the Jah Rastafarian community looks more of consciousness, but they've not really awakened because they still operate on the rhythm of capitalism. And they know. And it's some way connected to the Yahweh consciousness, which is also under the Freemason. We are revealing things here. So the feminine plant, marijuana, is a very powerful plant. If you are not pure, don't touch it. If you are not pure, don't touch it. When I say purity, I'm not saying some religious way of cleansing and consecration. I mean, if you are not staying true to yourself and knowing yourself, if you don't really know yourself, don't go near to the plant because, fine, you may have an experience for your creativity, for your this, but there is a karmic creation. That plant is spiritual enough to put you in balance if you stay true to yourself and know yourself. That is where you realize that you are not pleasing any matrix or any label or anything. You are flowing from yourself. You are flowing from yourself. That's why most of our guys are mad, because they took the marijuana in a lower state, in a lower vibration state. They smoked it. And when they smoked it, they didn't even take their time to get to know what they are smoking. Because they've just seen some people smoking it and you know, so they also want to smoke it. Or maybe they were depressed. And in that depression state, someone introduced it to them. So they smoked in that state. And they began to think. And they got shocked. Some can be instantly, but some too can be progressive. As they keep experiencing life, and because they are not real, and they've denied themselves, as they take it, in that low vibration state, they keep taking it in depressed, thinking, and not just thinking as in meditating of ascending yourself, but they are thinking in that lower vibration state. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So the person is still connected to the matrix. The person is not awakened. The person is not conscious. The person is not spiritual. Listen, consciousness comes before the marijuana. When you allow the marijuana to make you conscious, then one way or the other, it means that your consciousness was not really valid and natural. So if you mess up little, that energy of the plant can suppress you, depending on your state, that you keep going. So you envy, you are full of jealousy, you are running the matrix, you are desperate for money, you are this and this for that, you have allowed the matrix system to pressure you, you are this, you are thinking a lot, you are this. You can go mad. But if you are awakened and you see between the lines of your emotional state, of your physical state, of your spiritual state, of your psychological state, then it becomes a good energy for you.
When the crib's in the crib, ma, drop it like a show.